Fire damage. Perhaps one of the most common damage besides the physical damage types. It's instantly recognizable. Searing, burning, flaming, has high temperatures, burn the body. It's pretty abundant. For example, alchemist fire is one easy way to get a hold of fire damage. Many items like the flame tongue and so on. The list of spells that deal fire damage include Agazar's Scorcher, Burning Hands, Create Bonfire, Delayed Blast, Fireball, Firebolt, Fireball, Fire Shield, Firestorm, Flame Arrows, Flame Blade, Flame Strike, Flaming Sphere, Green Flame Blade, Melf's Minute Meteors, Heat Metal, Hellish Rebuke, Immolation, Incendiary Cloud, Investiture of Flame, Meteor Swarm, Produce Flame, Scorching Ray, Wall of Fire, Searing Smite, and the elemental spells that include fire damages and options such as Dragon's Breath and Illusionary Dragon. Most spells that deal fire damage are Evocation and occasionally Transmutation or Conjuration, like many of the elemental types are. Many are Blast, Enhanced Flame weapons, Lingering Burns, Explosions, Heated objects, things like that. Some plants, like awakened trees and tree, are actually vulnerable to fire, which is a nice flavor touch. Also, dust and ice mephits, as well as certain cold creatures like frostworms, salamander, have that same weakness as well. The gold and red dragons are, of course, immune to fire, and of course deal it with their breath weapons. Creatures that are resistant to fire include a lot of elementals that have like fire-related effects. It's pretty obvious to tell which ones, like fire elementals, Afrides, blister coral weirds, azers, so on. Many fiends are, of course, resistant to or immune to fire. No surprise there. Some undead, especially like ghost-like undead, that can't necessarily burn or resistant or immune. If trolls take fire damage, they don't regenerate the same from hydras, and then iron golems actually heal from fire. Fire creatures that deal fire damage, of course, include many of the options that are resistant to it, such as many fiends, elementals related to that type, creatures with breath weapons, things like that. And what's really fun is the lingering effect of a lot of flames is really flavorful. Like, with Searing Smite and Heat Metal as spells, or you also have like the Firemental's ability, which after they take damage, they take a d10 fire 6 turns until they get rid of the fire somehow in their bodies. There's Heated Body from Salamander. That's another flavorful way. Like, their body's so hot that when you attack it with a melee, it just burns you. Now, also, probably worth noting here is Extreme Heat. So, in extreme heat without access to drinkable water, creatures have to make a Constitution save each hour, starting at 5, and the save increases by 5 every hour. Creatures in heavy clothing or medium or heavy armor have disadvantage on the saving throw. Creatures with fire resistance or immunity automatically succeed this check as they're used to hotter temperatures, not an issue for them. Flavor your fire damage as the smelling burning flesh, hairs crisping up, a hot weapon branding itself into the flesh, causing steam to rise from impact. Then smoke rising up and choking the victim. Burning bright colors based on what's lit. If you burn certain odd things, you may have noticed strange colored flames and smoke rising up from them, which is fun to flavor that. Again, because, based off what's being burnt, it's, of course, different. Abilities that relate to fire damage include those related to elemental type effects, such as the Tronic Sorcerer and Elemental Depth Feat. We also have things like the Alchemist Artificer's Focus, which enhances certain types, including fire. We have the Fire Rune of the Rune Knight, the Fiend Warlock's abilities, 4 Elements and Sun Soul both have fire-related abilities, Wildfire Druid, Light Domain, and then the Storm Herald Barbarian, the Desert type particularly. Again, pretty straightforward in what it can do. Again, I think if you're ever making things related to fire damage, or you really want to play that up, those things with the lingering are a lot of fun and really make the most of what fire damage can do. There are probably the most amount of fire damage spells of all the different damages options available. This means, of course, that making characters based around the fire theme is relatively easy to do. Um, Again, unfortunately, a lot of them are just explosions, but I love the investiture flames and things like that can really do more with fire as a whole, being a dragon, things like that. All fun stuff. So, this is Sean from Dungeon, signing out.